Euphoria didn't just change culture. It changed what your brain expects. That's why real life feels weaker now. When you look at that show, it's not just storytelling, it's intensity. Every scene is amplified. Emotion, sex, chaos, stimulation. Nothing settles. Nothing stays neutral. It just keeps hitting. And your brain doesn't simply watch that. It trains on it. That's the shift. This episode is brought to you by my HarperCollins published book, Mind Over Explicit Matter. Learn how artificial stimulation miswires your brain and what you can do to rewire it back to purpose, intimacy, and connection. Go to drtrishleigh.com/book. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Trish Leigh, your hostess with the mostest. I help people rewire their dopamine hijacked brains. And I want you to know this isn't just entertainment anymore. It truly is conditioning. Your brain doesn't separate this is a show from this is normal. It just responds to the input. And as Andrew Huberman explains, dopamine isn't just about pleasure, it's about expectation. So when you expose your brain to high levels of stimulation, it recalibrates. Everything below that, read real life, relationships, intimacy, well, it starts to feel weaker. Not because it is, but because your threshold is higher now. That's what people are feeling, but can't explain. Nothing is broken. The signal just isn't strong enough anymore. And this isn't just Euphoria. It's TikTok, pornography, dating apps, the constant stream of fast, fragmented stimulation. You're not just consuming content. You're training your nervous system, and you can see the pattern everywhere. People can't focus. They start things, but they don't finish them. They feel unmotivated. They feel disconnected and flat. But the most dangerous, insidious part of this whole thing is that it doesn't feel like a clear problem. It feels like something is just off. So people try to fix it with discipline. They push harder. They try to stay consistent, force motivation. And that works up till a point. But like Mel Robbins talks about, action can move you forward, but it doesn't fix a dysregulated, dysfunctional system. There's a point where trying harder actually makes it worse, because now you're not just dealing with the behavior, you're dealing with a trained brain. The more your brain adapts to intensity, the less it responds to anything stable. Consistency feels boring. Calm now feels empty. Healthy starts to feel flat. Real life did not get worse, my friend. Your brain just got used to more, much more. And you see this clearly in relationships. People want connection, but they can't stay present. They want intimacy, but it doesn't feel strong enough. They want depth, but they don't have the patience for it because their brain is calibrated to fast, intense, immediate input. Anything slower doesn't register in the same way. As Chris Williamson has pointed out, especially when it comes to men, there's a pattern right now: low drive, low focus, low engagement, but no clear explanation. On the surface, everything looks fine, but internally, the signal is weaker. And when the signal is weaker, you start looking for stronger input again. That's the loop, not because you want it, but because your brain expects it. This becomes even more obvious when you look at sex and attraction. Euphoria doesn't just show sex. It exaggerates it. Constant stimulation, constant novelty, constant escalation. Then you layer in porn, and now your brain is being trained on intensity without effort, novelty without connection, stimulation without reality. So when you come back to real life, real intimacy, real connection, real attraction, it feels weaker, too weak. Not because it is, but because your brain expects more. That's why people are asking why things feel off, why attraction feels inconsistent, why connection doesn't hit the same. And they think it's emotional or relational. But hear this, it's neurological. You didn't lose desire, you lost sensitivity. That's the shift. Your brain didn't break, it adapted. Maladapted. It miswired in the wrong direction, the direction away from your goals. And once it miswires, it keeps reinforcing the same pattern until you interrupt it. The part that matters is that anything your brain learns, it can relearn, but not through force. You don't fix overstimulation with more stimulation. In fact, you lower the baseline, you create space, you let your brain come back down. And at first, it will, or may feel uncomfortable, slower, quieter, even empty. But that's not a problem. That's your sensitivity coming back online. When the spikes go down, your baseline comes back up. And when that happens, everything shifts. Focus holds. Motivation feels natural again. Connection feels real. Not exaggerated, not intense, but real. And that's the shift that people are actually looking for. You're not trying to feel more, you're trying to feel accurately again. Once that happens, you don't need constant input. You don't need constant stimulation, and you're not chasing the next hit. You're just in your life again, where you want to be. And when your brain is regulated, it finally feels good to be in your own mind and your own body. So if you want to understand exactly what your brain is doing and how to retrain it, please go over to drtrishleigh.com and start with a brain map. Because once you see the pattern, then you can change it. And always remember, you either control your brain or it will control you. See you next time.